that, yeah, he tried this other thing that other people didn't try because they didn't think it would work, and guess what? It didn't work.
From the past 45 years, didn't do it?
I can't account for the cowardice of other presidents who didn't take action.
They knew very clearly what would happen.
I'm glad you brought that up.
They're going to try to destroy the economy, and they know these midterms are coming up, and they know how unpopular this war is. So that is the war that they are fighting. They are fighting a psychological war and one that will do damage to the economy.
They're thinking this time about striking energy infrastructure in Iran, which has been something that Trump has threatened. He's threatened the energy infrastructure and bridges.
But President Trump is trying something that nobody's done. We've been in a level of conflict with Iran for 50 years in various forms, mostly diplomacy, mostly talking about it. And he decided, first time, to your point, to try something different, to go kinetic.
Time and time again,
he's threatening to annihilate the entire population of people. How is that patience?
Because he very well could.
That's not patience.
Do exactly that.
Guys, last night on Abby Phillip show, MAGA advocates were utterly humiliated while defending Donald Trump's desperation to target Iran's energy infrastructure. Abby and the progressive panelists fact-checked these shameless MAGA pundits so hard, they were completely silenced. Now I'm going to play some clips from the show, and I'll share my thoughts as we go.
The United States is reportedly planning fresh strikes against Iran as soon as this weekend. Officials tell CNN that U.S. Central Command has readied forces for expanding the war and is planning options to target energy sites. But the White House fears that Tehran could retaliate against Gulf infrastructure and shock global energy markets. President Trump has been desperate for an exit strategy and is hearing conflicting advice about the path forward. During a White House meeting this week, a Saudi Arabian official urged Trump to de-escalate the war. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also spoke with Trump about ways to pressure Iran, including renewing a full-scale war. Everything came to a head today during Trump's cabinet meeting as he vented his frustrations about the pace of these negotiations.
Iran is doing very poorly, just in case you read incorrect stories. They're doing very, very poorly. They're having a hard time. We'll be hitting them very hard. And at some point, they're going to say, we just can't take it anymore. All they do is make me angry. You just make me angry. I'm losing faith in them.
This is quite a turnaround from what we were hearing from the administration, including from J.D. Vance, who said that it was so cool that the Iranians had had a change of heart and that they were willing to turn over a new leaf and go into this new era of peace with the United States. Now we're back to potentially full-scale war.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was plenty of evidence over, multiple presidencies about why this was a bad idea. And because, again, we are at the mercy of the president's ego, we are now in another endless war that has no path forward, but to see it all the way through. It's a war that is deeply unpopular. I think the Iranians know this, and that is why they are fighting a different kind of war than we are. Like, we want to muscle up against them. Like, we want to go head up. That's not the war they're fighting. They're going to try to destroy the economy, and they know these midterms are coming up, and they know how unpopular this war is. So that is the war that they are fighting. They are fighting a psychological war and one that will do damage to the economy.
The thing that our reporting says that I want to kind of zoom in on is they're thinking this time about striking energy infrastructure in Iran, which has been something that Trump has threatened. He's threatened the energy infrastructure and bridges. But one of the problems with that is that Iran could retaliate, and they could do the same things with their neighbors, which could put us in a world of hurt. I mean, is there a risk that we escalate this to a point where we can't bring it back?
Well, first of all, on the energy infrastructure piece, a really important point, because you watch what the rest of the world is doing as rapidly as possible, diversifying their energy sources so they're less reliant on the Strait of Hormuz and Middle Eastern oil. And that's a good takeaway for the United States as well. We've got an abundance. We want all the supply we can get, but we need to make sure we do it all the above, including, next generation and frontier technologies, renewables, and everything, the whole list. But in terms of turning back, Abby, this thing changes every day or every week. What we know today could be totally different tomorrow because of these conflicting statements. But President Trump is trying something that nobody's done. We've been in a level of conflict with Iran for 50 years in various forms, mostly diplomacy, mostly talking about it. And he decided, first time, to your point, to try something different, to go kinetic. And so far, it hasn't produced the results. And the results would be they can't have a nuclear weapon, and you got to have the strait open. And
But
so
isn't that
far,
the problem? Isn't that the
they haven't
problem?
achieved that.
Guys, it is alarming that this war against Iran has reached a point where every new headline becomes more dangerous than the last one. According to reports, the Trump administration and U.S. Central Command are considering targeting Iran's bridges and energy infrastructure. And if that happens, this conflict could escalate into a full-scale war. Iran has already warned that any attack on its critical infrastructure will trigger major retaliation, likely targeting strategic sites and oil facilities across the Gulf. And you know what? If that happens, this war will not remain only between the countries directly involved in this conflict. That means the whole world could face the economic consequences of this war. Yes, you heard me right. Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz, which carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. Any serious disruption there doesn't stay only in the Middle East. It'll immediately cause higher prices at grocery stores, gas stations, airlines, factories, and households across the globe. The effects of this global economy will be far more dangerous than anyone can imagine.
I mean, isn't the problem that, yeah, he tried this other thing that other people didn't try because they didn't think it would work, and guess what? It didn't work.
I think, to the governor's point, every administration for 40, 50 years, as Iran has chained death to America, has thought about how they can address the Iran issue. And President Trump, hate him or like him, had the guts to actually do it, to take the decisive action to go after our number one enemy by their own admission.
But Tim,
so
to what the governor was just saying, it didn't work. So it would be one thing if he took decisive action and it worked, but it didn't work.
Didn't work so far.
So far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you have to.
It has not been working.
The president, Abby.
So I guess what I'm saying is, like, you can't praise the courage of Trump for doing something if the outcome is not better than what we had before.
I can certainly praise. I mean, if you want to do the comparison,
why other presidents from the past 45 years
I can
didn't
certainly. I can't account for the cowardice of other presidents who didn't take action.
They knew very clearly what would happen.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Many of them,
they made promises. President Obama made promises about what he would do with Iran. Kamala Harris, when she ran for president, said that if Iran did X, she would do. Hillary Clinton, everyone has talked about it.
Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton were never president.
And
diplomatic efforts
thank God they were never the president.
and the right.
Because President Trump has taken decisive action. President Trump has taken decisive action on our
and we got
number
the straight
one
clothes.
enemy.
We got gas prices skyrocketing.
You know what?
We have an energy infrastructure that is about to be a disaster.
Into difficulties while he is trying to be patient and negotiate with them.
He's not trying to be patient. He's trying to calm down and pull out because he does not know how to pull out. He is now regretting he got into this.
Extremely patient with them, time and time again.
He's threatening to annihilate the entire population of people. How is that patience?
Because he very well could.
That's not patient.
Do exactly that. He could annihilate them. And I think a lot of people are calling for that. A lot of people are calling for us to actually take greater measures in Iran. The president's being very, very patient.
Guys, one thing has become quite clear now. This MAGA leader in the Oval Office started this war of choice without having any exit strategy. Trump told the American people that the campaign would be short. What's even more surprising is this. Iran shocked the world with its unbelievably aggressive response. 6 months later, the Trump administration is still struggling to accomplish its two original objectives, preventing Iran from becoming a nuclear power and keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. And here we are in deep water now. You know what the most surprising part is? The unexpected tactics that Iran employed against the United States. Iran quickly realized that it didn't need to match America's military firepower. Instead, it acted strategically and remained focused mainly on creating uncertainty. It fully understands the global financial markets react to fear, countries react to instability, and voters react to the skyrocketing costs of living. And so far, it's remained successful. With the midterm elections less than 100 days away, the pressure on Trump continues to build. The voters are furious and asking what this war is costing us and when it's going to end. And honestly, neither MAGA pundits nor their boss in the White House has an answer to that question.
And he's taken action, something that the people you just listed, they wouldn't do.
Let me just very quickly play Trump. This is Trump talking about a cyber attack in Minnesota and not blaming the person who his own government thinks might be behind it.
Minnesota is behind it. You know who's behind it? Minnesota, because they're grossly incompetent. I think the governor's behind it. I don't think there was an Iranian cyber attack. I think that Minnesota ought to get its act together.
So I don't know if this is like a tough on Iran thing or not, but why can't he even blame Iran for something that they may have done? And why does he have to deflect blame to inside his own country to avoid holding them accountable for it?
Well, I think that it's not necessarily for him an accountability issue for Iran as much as it is this flows down that same vein of him trying to diminish faith in our electoral process already. Because he has already took so many aims at doing that since 2016, I don't think that he is going to stop anytime too soon, and this was just another feather in the cap. He's going to ignore the any evidence showcasing Iran because he wants to tell people that our elections are not working, and especially in Democratic-led states.
All right, we're going to leave it there.
That's it for today, guys. What do you think Trump should do to end this war? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you next time with another video.